let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
What is going on, true believers? And Maddie B? Are you rubbing one out while I'm on live? Oh, God, gross, dude. Maddie B. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Bleaves. We're here to talk about trade setups. We're here to talk about what this market needs to do in order to go to that next level. We're talking about all the cool things. And Maddie, put it down. Jesus Christ, man. Whew. Don't you get tired? Anyway, you guys have a good morning. I hope I am having a little bit of a struggle here with the Wi-Fi one more time because, duh, it wouldn't be my life if it weren't. However, I got some thank yous that we're going to have to go around because over the last, this is day 4. We didn't really label the episode here, but this is the 4th episode of the new trading show. So, hey, how do you stake your Devve when in the USA? First, Stefan, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. The answer to that is going to devve.io, and you know what? We'll take a moment here, and it really it's just to give you an opportunity to buy stuff. So you would come to devve.io and you would click on staking and launchpad right here, and then you would go to stake Devve right here. And when you do, what you get is if you stake, and this is depending on how much you stake. So if you have 10,000, let's say, you stake 10,000, then you get a 4x GTD allocation and a 15x GTD allocation. And then over here, you would get seed round access and 8x, 25x. You would get a whole lot of different options with it. Now, you don't earn yield off of the Devve. I haven't seen any growth when it comes to that. What I've seen is you get access to new tokens that are dropping, new programs, stuff like that. So if that's what you want to do, then that's where you would go in order to get that done. So devve.io, and then that takes you to Dev Launchpad. And then from there, you'll be able to do that. Now, let's talk about what's going on in the market. First, we got a few things that we're going to go over real quickly. And before we get started, good morning to DJ and Brian, Jordan's Tool Belt, Maddie B in the house, just playing with Maddie B. While Maddie B's playing with himself. You know what I mean? Stefan, what is up? Good morning. Amit is here. Good morning. Uncle Damn Son is in the house. Daniel Volt is in the house. Eddie says, let's go. Daniel, man, losing weight. I am. As a matter of fact, for anybody who's wondering about, I want to say by October of last year, now, mind you, I'm a fairly big guy to begin with. Like I've always been strong. I have a big chest. I have a big back. You know what I mean? Like I always look, you know what I mean? Like I always like that. But, you know, I've been getting fat and wasn't doing anything about it. I was working out, I was exercising, but it was minimal and I wasn't really like focused. Well, now I'm focused. And now that I'm focused, it's all gone. So there you go. Yeah, been working super hard. I'm at 275 right now. For those of you that are wondering, I'm at 275 right now. October last year, I was at 327. I was probably at 330. You know what I mean? Like I was a heavy guy. So I'm down 50 to 60 pounds at this point. And I think it's my opinion. I'm not really sure, but I think I have another 40 to go. I think when I get down to, you know, about 40 less pounds, I think that's when I'm really going to feel the best. So that's what I'm looking for right now. So Alex M is in the house. We got Karen Waters in the house. This is a precious metals goat right here. Karen is a big time gold and silver person, and holy shit, did she make out like a bandit on gold. If you guys remember, she was a sponsor of this channel for a while, and we had a link to her. We had an affiliate link down below. She was I mean, it was wild. Like gold, I think, was like 1,200 at the time. It's 3,400 today. Like, woo, absolutely crazy. Karen won big time. We got Roy in the house. We got Coins Chick in the house. So it's going to get awesome in here. We got Kevin Sankey. Dimesh Kumar is in the house. Busy Baby. Yeah, being healthy, man. That's what it's all about. That's, you know what, that really is what it's all about, is trying to live a healthy life. You know what I mean? And last time I showed the man boobs, the market tanked. So, by the way, buy opportunity for everybody. So how about that? Subscribe to my OnlyFans. There it is. So anyway, Trump, this is the daily poll, which is formerly Matic, is up 20% on the day. Trump is up 31.6%. I'm not a fan of what happened with Trump. I wanted it to move naturally, but I'll take it. I'll take that move. Really ended up like about 57%, 60% up on the day. And what happened was Donald Trump made an announcement that the top 220 holders of the Trump meme coin would get a dinner with Donald Trump. There's going to be a sponsored event, basically a crypto bro event, where, you know, maybe you're going to get some insight into what the administration is thinking. And that might be a very cool insider tip for you. Wink, wink. Of course, by the way, Democrats have melted down the emoluments clause, the blah, 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 blah. This is how dumb they are, okay? The people who don't know shit about crypto say emoluments clause, profiting off of whatever. By the way, they are ridiculous. And by the way, let me say, I keep saying, by the way, they're going to miss in this next election. 2026, is it? 2026 is going to be even worse for Democrats than 2024 is, because they do not understand. They are not reading the room. Okay. So, man, I'm just telling you guys now. Fetch, by the way, is up 9.5% on the day. We talked about this yesterday, and I thought maybe it would have a nice little run. And guess what? It did. Also in the 1 to 200, Turbo down 20%. So basically the liquidity is being sucked back out of the meme coins, because of course it is. You're being grifted. You're being grifted by all these goddamn grifters. So duh. So now we'll see what happens. What happens next? FTT up 10.2%. How? OM down 7.5%. This really represents to me a huge buy opportunity. I'm going to show you why in just a few moments when we get to the trading chart. In the 200 to 300, B3 is up 37 points. You can see that behind my head over there. Ardor's up 24%. That's the big mover there. Sin up 18%. Merle up 18.4%. You can see that right there. And then you've got ARC down 14% and ACT down 27.7%. And that's where we're going to end it right there. Fear and Greed Index back down, was at 72 yesterday, at 63 today. By the way, if what I told you was true, where you bought the other day and you bought between 20 and 30, and now you went up to 70, and I told you sell when it gets to 70, and you sold yesterday, guess what? You got a dip right now, so you got opportunity to buy in and make more. Now, speaking of buying in and making more, this is the moment where it is sometimes uncomfortable for me. And by the way, I want you guys to know that I appreciate you. And I feel like exposing myself to you, not in the cool way where I get paid for it, but in the just be honest with you guys way, so that you guys understand how much it means to me when you guys engage and when you guys help me out. Weeks is the, you know, that they've been the big sponsor of the channel. KCEX has been too, but KCEX has they've not let me down. I don't have a problem with KCEX. I just that, you know, it's, they were referred to me by MEXC, And I have not had a single problem with KCEX. I do want to illustrate, or if I've had problems, it's been minor and it's been something that I've done or something like that, right? I got liquidated one time on what I think still is a scam wick, but that happens sometimes. And it's not really the exchange. That's really just somebody taking advantage of, whatever opportunity that they may have. So, that's, I don't have a problem with them is the short order, right? But Weeks has been very, very good to me. And I'm going to show you something right now, which is, again, thank you guys. I appreciate it. This is my affiliate link right here. If you look right here, there are 50 new signups and 31 deposits in the last 7 days. Okay. And, one of the things that I talked to you guys about before was, I don't have any partners right now other than Trobits.com. And we're going to talk about Trobits in just a few moments. But other than Trobits, then it's all basically on me. Now, the other day, I told you guys that I was infuriated because I was talking to Cassie on the phone and we were talking about, way back in the old days, just so you guys understand, let me take you on a quick journey. We're going to get onto we're going to go on a Ben Armstrong journey. When everything happened to Ben and he was freaking out and stuff like that, and he needed money in a bad way. I am not rich. I can't just throw money at him, right? So what I said was, hey, man, why don't you reach out to your affiliate Femex, which is where you get all of your money on Discover Crypto, or it was Hit Network at the time. And I said, since it's you and since you were the one that made the agreement with them, just have everything moved over to your new account and change your wallet address so that the funds go in there, right? So he did, and basically I saved this guy's ass, which, by the way, no appreciation for it. No appreciation for it. You know what I mean? And when I say that, I'm being ridiculous on it. I am being ridiculous on it because, look, they hired me when I needed them the most. So, I want Ben to be successful. I want Ben to be, I want him to do well, but, he would have just let them continue to earn this money. Well, turns out that money is between, let's call it $500 and $1,500 every single day, right? That's what they make off of their affiliate and partnerships here with Femex, right? Well, it occurred to me that I've been screwing up. If you look over here, and I'm going to show it to you, and you're going to see, like, I have for days, just over and over again. We get spikes, we get runs, but really haven't had enough signups, right? So that's why we did a trading channel, right? Now that's why we're trading, and we're talking about trade setups, which, by the way, I'm going to show you the trade setups and what we've got going on right now in just a moment. But look at this recent data. So we had 0 signups. I mean, this is through, April, nothing. Then the 21st, we get 2 signups. 22nd, we get 14 signups. 23rd, we get 18 signups and 14 traders. And then today, 16 more signups and 11 more people have made deposits. So now we have a great opportunity. Now, when we get to there, let's go over here. Payouts to direct referrals. I'm going to show you guys. Like, I'm going to be an open book with you on April 18th. And you can see the number kind of right there. $5. The next day, $1.42. This is how much I'm making off of referrals. Okay. And then on 4/20, I made $4.18. 2 cents more. You assholes couldn't have just traded like one extra dollar. Actually, it would have been about 50 cents or something like that. But it would have been 4/20, and that would have been hilarious. Anyway, then the next day it was $4.92. Then the next day, it was $14.97. I'm like, hey, $14.97. What did I do with that? What did I do with every single one of these? I'm going to tell you right. I'm glad you asked, even though you didn't ask. I put it all in OM. I put everything. Everything's going to OM. Well, yesterday, there it is, $919 right here. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Yesterday, I made $919 off of the affiliate trading for what we're doing over here. And when you look at the volume over here, you see 3,000, 4,000, 10,000, blah, 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 blah. Just small amounts. 48,000 over here. And then we got like 140, $14.97. But yesterday, 1.89 million. I haven't seen numbers like that. And but it's, you know what? Let me get over here. That's 1.89 million in a day trading. And that right there is, if I could do that every single day, problem solved. You know what I mean? Could I do that every day? Probably not, but it's cool to think. Anyway, for the day today, 422,000. So not nearly as much as yesterday, but that's $100, $200 every single day. If I can make $100, $200 every single day off of my affiliate referrals with centralized exchanges, I don't have to take promos. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing right now. We're going to continue to get these signups. We're going to continue to get these opportunities. And also remember, there's 31 deposits. Some of these people are making fantastic money. How are they making fantastic money? Well, I'm glad you asked, because on the serious tip, and I am just being for real with you, dog. If you sign up, Weeks Official is offering you a big bonus for signing up at my link below. Earn up to 20% rewards for signing up. So what does that mean? If you put $1,000 in and you maintain it for 3 consecutive days, you get a $200 USDT reward. 5,000 will get you 1,000. 10,000 will get you 2,000. And if you deposit 200, you get a $40 coupon. What is a $40 coupon? A $40 coupon is basically a futures fund where you get it gives you like you get $40 and it lasts for 2 weeks. So over here, these are the trade setups. And by the way, only one of them has entered, and I have changed the ones that I took yesterday, except for the XRP one. Now the XRP one is it got triggered at 215, if you guys remember, or 218 yesterday, and the market price right now is a little over 218. So we got in and we got skin in the game, which was the important part. But I changed the open orders. I recognized yesterday, because I was going back over my stuff and thinking like, man, I wonder what position, you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of looking at them like, I wonder what the positions are going to be. And you see right here, XRP gave me, when I looked at it, this is what happened. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I recognize I made a mistake there. So if you look at the liquidation price, that liquidation price is 6 cents. Okay. Now, what does it mean when it's at 6 cents? Well, it means that I've got to cross 5x, which when it's 5x, there's no reason that it's going to be 6 cents. And that's where I realized I made a mistake. And then instead of doing isolated, I did a cross. So I am locked into a cross right now. And what that means is it takes the money out of your wallet in order to satisfy everything down to the liquidation price. Okay. So what that means is not ultimately it's okay, because it provides you with a little bit of risk tolerance that you wouldn't otherwise have. I mean, let's face it, there's no chance that XRP is going to 6 cents. Okay. There's no chance of that. However, there is a chance. There is a chance that that it could go down to $1.50 or $1 or something like that, or even 50 cents where it was before. So providing that with cross helps you out, but it also will cost you money because you don't get that money back. That's just to protect your long. And of course, you don't want to protect at some point. You just want to cut the cord and say, you know what, this is not worth it. You know what I mean? Like that's really what you want to do, because you don't want to get stuck into a long position like that. So anyway, I screwed that up. So I went back over this morning and I changed every single one of these buy orders to isolated 5x. So when these trigger, and I do think that they'll still trigger. Ethereum, I said at 1690. Remember that. Ondo, I said at 85 cents, and Bitcoin at 91,200. So those are the setups. And then here is the wallet. And this is where it really dawned on me that, this was a good day. The USDT for the day, again, it's $5, $14 all the time. Now today, $918.96. So, again, guys, thank you. I appreciate that. You'll notice here that I do have a growing and bigger bag of WXT. I'm not ready to just throw $900 into WXT at this point, but it actually is a good buy in that context. So if you are looking for a token with an opportunity, they just burned a bunch of tokens not that long ago. And when they did, it caused an enormous spike in the price action. So if you were looking right here, look at this. They did a burn back here in January, and they went from 1.6 cents on that day all the way up to 3.5 cents. So it is entirely possible. And look by the chart, by the way. When I look at charts like this, the only other chart that looks like this guess what? Coins Shitcoin. And you know how bullish I am on Coins Shitcoin. So this is, you know, and by the way, I'm not putting $900 into the top of anything. I missed the wick down here to 2 cents. So I'm not, you know, I'm not going after that. But if it dips back down and this market for any reason gets into a catastrophic sort of dump, then let's go, baby. You know what I mean? So opportunity. So anyway, let's get into what's going on in the market, and let's talk about, by the way, SWE. We're gonna look at SWE, but it's playing out just exactly like I told you. Like we are taking a victory lap on that. The overall market is down $30 billion on the day. U.S. market is not the culprit, however. Let's hit refresh right here. You can see that the U.S. market is actually trying to spike it back up so far. Overnight, when we get down here to the evening, right about here is where we started at 2.89 trillion. So down 30 to 2.86 trillion. But you can see that we came all the way down to 2.82. So that means that we were down at $1.70 billion on the day. And what did I tell you guys? I told you guys it was my opinion that we were going to have some profit taking along the way. It only makes sense. Obviously, you want profit taking, but 3 o'clock that's Middle East and Europe time. So what happened? The Chinese and the Asian markets continued to dump into it until 3 a.m. And then at 3 a.m., the European and the Middle Eastern market came online, and they are buyers. Now, the question at this point is, what is the U.S. going to do? Well, the Dow Jones up 150 points on the day. So early on, it looks like we're going to be in buy mode. Now, will we continue to be in buy mode? That really is the question. So let's look at Bitcoin. I'm going to stick with my position right now. My position right now is 91,200. I'm not looking for an entry. I'm not looking for any other spot here. What I'm looking for is I'm looking to enter at the lowest possible apex of the opportunity. So I'm looking at this right here, and I'm seeing that we've formed this sort of resistance in the short term. This is only hourly, but we formed sort of a resistance here on this next play out. And that would lead me to think that after rejecting off of this, and then after looking at this right here to this right here to this right here, we're going to get another breakout, right? That does to me look like we're about to get another breakout. Now, the point to that is, hopefully we can get down here into right in this range right here, 91,200. We get to 91,200, then hopefully we break out and then head on to 100,000. What did I set up? Futures, open order. So we took 91,200, and we'll set a take profit at the order price. There we are. Take profit's going to be 100,000 right there. And it's going to be a 45% gain, and that's going to be a full take profit. All right. So we're going to confirm that. You know what? It looks a little weird. Like it's not refreshing the right way. So let's make sure that we got that. Yeah, we didn't get that at all. All right, 100,000. It'll be $11 in profit. All right, so we're going to take that. Done. All right, now Ondo. I forgot what we were going to do with Ondo. To be honest with you, I didn't. I'd have to go back and actually check it. But Ondo. Let's just say let's pop on Ondo. And where do we think we're going to go? Well, that's going to be right there at $1.18, or is it $1.20? You know what? Let's just do $1.20. $1.20 on Ondo, and let's see how that goes. And by the way, we're just going to automate this process completely, and we're going to go there, and we're going to go to take profit at $1.20. It's going to be 205%, be $49 is what we would make off of that, and boom, we'll take that one. And then let's look at Ethereum and see what we're going to do with Ethereum. And we're holding Ethereum until we get to right here, $3,000. So the question at this point is going to be, is Ethereum going down, or is it going to 3,000 first, right? Well, let's do 3,000 right there and confirm that one. All right. So guys, we're still at $100. We've still used just $100. And right now we've got our buys set up. We've got $10 in the wallet. We are just kind of treading right now on XRP. That one just got that one just got opened up early this morning. So we had one that gave us the opportunity, but that $70 billion dip that we had a little while ago didn't trigger any of these other ones. So we're going to leave them out there right now and wait for see if those positions end up getting filled. So Bitcoin, this is pretty much what I think is going to happen. So again, buy order at 91,200 and boom, and right here and here and here. Buy order 91,200. Okay, so there we have it. And then we've got another one up here, which we're going to do. And we're going to change that data point to a coordinate of 100,000. And then we're going to put, I should have just done it all at once. Sell order at 100K. All right. So now let's zoom out and you can see exactly how it's set up. So we got a buy order to trigger at 91,200, and then we got a sell order to trigger at 100,000. If you want to set up the same thing, there you go. Now, why are we bullish? We're bullish because Paul Atkins, first ever SEC crypto roundtable is tomorrow. Everybody should be real excited about that. Also, analysts is now predicting a Bitcoin price dip, and what they're saying is that they're predicting a potential pullback in the 89 to 90,000 range. I will take that. Now, why are they coming up with that number? I mean, it's going to be the bottom of this trade volume right here. If we look at it from Control R, this range right here is where they're going to figure that's coming from. And that's going to go all the way down into this zone right here. So what we're looking at is that top right there. That's where he's coming up with 89,000. So that's the spot. And then up here is that 90,000 range. So in the event that we get that opportunity, by the way, with 5x leverage, I can take this. I could take this on the chin, not even worry about it. Really, I'm trying to maintain a little bit of an aggressive approach is why I did that, which is why I went to 91,200, because I think that now we're in this box. This is where the reversal could happen from if we are going to stay bullish. And I do think that we're going to stay bullish. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to dip, doesn't mean that we're not going to drop, but this is a pretty safe. If I were to, and by the way, if you ever wonder on some of these, if you go to like the perpetual futures market, right here, you have a futures calculator. So if you want to do your trading pair of Bitcoin, you want leverage of 5x, you want your entry price, 91,200. You want, oh, wait a minute. Whoops. I want to check my liquidation price, 5x leverage, and my entry price is 91,200. Position size, let's just say 1 Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. That's not going to be right. Bears are still going to suck, but I think they're going to get better. I'll have to find a different calculator. I don't like the way that one was working. The Bears, by the way, are going to be a much better team this year. I'm calling it right now. I'm telling you guys right now that the one place that they failed to address was the trenches. And this year, the trenches are everything that they're going that they're going after. So I would say that we're going to see a much improved Bears team. Now, does that translate into a playoff run? That's going to be tough. That's going to be very, very tough. It really depends on how this team continues to get built. And I think that right now they're looking really, really good, but I don't know. I don't know. I do think that they're going to be, again, much improved. We're going to see a much better product on the field. Does it translate to wins? I'm sure it will, because you can't lose as badly as you did under Matt Eberflus. Like he found ways to screw this team over and cause them to lose. And by the way, Roma Dunze did an interview talking about things that Caleb Williams said and how, basically the team just kind of checked out after Tyreek Stevenson screwed up that one play, and then Jaquan Brisker Once the wheels fell off at the Commanders game, the team just stopped trying and caring, because they knew Matt Eberflus at this point was just costing them games. And then he continued to go on a colossal run of costing them like 6 games in a row with stupid plays at the end of every single game. So I don't think that's going to happen again. So, again, I'm not saying, I thought last season they would get it together and they would actually hold up, but they broke down very quickly, and 13-4, which was my prediction, ended up being 5-12. So they absolutely sucked. But I would say that 10 or 11 wins coming into this season is probably on the agenda, not because I think that this team is now going to be elite, but because I think they're going to be so much better at game management, at executing. I think they're going to be so much better offensively than they were last season. So we'll see what happens, but I am not coming to the NFL draft in Green Bay. It's in Green Bay. Like, ugh. Anyway, no, not going to be there for that. But let's get back into let's get back into this. So we got our setup right here. Now let's talk about Ethereum and what do we think is going to happen with Ethereum? Well, I do have my buy still set up right there at 1690. That's me thinking that there's going to be a dip. Now, could the dip be a lot more? Absolutely. Again, like I said before, yesterday when I gave this to you, what I said was we're up here at the top. So what I'm looking for, and what's happened is we got to bounce off of the 236 or the 382. I'm saying that I think that it's going to come down to this 0.5, right? That's where I was looking. And guess what? We did not get that. What did we get? We got the 382. I was being more conservative about it. If I had set it up at the 382, then guess what? We would have gotten a nice bounce off of it, but it wouldn't have been much money. It wouldn't have been much, like, we would just be kind of, like this was, I think it feels like we're kind of trading into it right now. So, maybe a surge up here into 18 or close to that, and then a dip back down into this range. We still need to test this. Otherwise, this move is artificial. So I still think that we're going to have a move down into that range. So I'm going to leave that buy at 1690, hoping to see some kind of move. And then we're just going to ride that thing. Hopefully that's going to be the bottom. But then we're going to ride this thing all the way to 3,000, which I think that's coming very, very soon. The reason that I'm so bullish on Ethereum, and by the way, $3,000 does not make me, or should not make me, or should not, you should not consider me bullish that Ethereum is going to 3,000. Like, that's nonsense. You want to see, if you want to see something happen, it needs to go to 3,000. And by the way, there's like a magnet right there at 2,600, 2,700. I'll take that move. I would take this move up here into 33, 3,400. So if we get up there into that range and the oxygen is starting to get sparse and we're like, whoa, this is going crazy, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? But if we get to 3,000, I might look at it and say, you know what? The volume node right here is 3,300. Maybe we'll kick it up to that range right there. But I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I want to see, first of all, what I want to see is I want to see an order get filled at about 1680. And then I want to stare at it for a little while and say, you know what? Can I DCA just a little bit? Should I add another 25 bucks into it? Should I just a little more, just a little taste, and then add a little bit more and then see if I can't get it on that ride all the way up to 3,000. Because again, in the event that breaks out and it goes to 3,000, then the profit on it right there would be 387%. So 387% of $25 would be $95. 387% of $100 would be like $400. So, maybe if I feel comfortable in that position that we're not going down anymore, we might add some risk to it and see what happens. But we're going to stick with 5X. Again, this is the 100. We're not going to put all the 100 in there. Like I said, well, you know what? We might add another order. I might break my own rule on this one because I think that's going to end up being a win. So why are we looking at it this way? Ethereum price shot up 17%. It's down 2.5% from today. Now, what does Ali Martinez say? I'm just going to assume that it's going to be Ali Martinez. It's not. It's Rect Proof. In a recent post, crypto trader Rect Proof noted an Ethereum price fractal that had a similar uptrend that was followed by a steep correction. This crypto pundit adds, being mindful with setups in case we start trading below. Although Rect Proof did not explicitly mention the ETH value will drop, he is considering the possibility of key levels to watch if it comes down to it. And the first key level to watch is 1660. We set our buy at 1690 because we're probably looking at the chart and seeing the same level and I saw mine at 1688. He saw his at 1660. I set my buy a little bit above it at 1690. That's what I'm looking for. Now, in the event that it breaks down, then we're talking about 1380. And the question is, will it break down to that level? Well, that would come from volume. So what is the 24-hour DEX volume? It's 2.5 billion versus Solana's 3.7 billion. So retail is starting to trickle back in. So I don't think that we're going to see that sort of level on Ethereum. Now, what will we see on Ethereum? Petra upgrade date. So Petra is scheduled to take place on May 7. May 7, by the way, look, there's a lot of, holy shit. May the 7th is going to be a day that lives in infamy. This is going to be a very interesting day. It's going to be an interesting day because May the 7th is where Petra upgrade is supposed to happen, and it's where we should get a rate cut from the Fed. This could be just a bonkers sort of day. Now, remember that the last time we had a big upgrade, which was Denkun, we got a nice little pump on Ethereum, and for the one right before that, we had a nice little pump on that one too. If those all, like, if it all comes into play at the same time, we could be looking at just an absolutely bonkers thing. But remember, we've been living in a place where buy the rumor, sell the news is the order of the day. So if that's the case, then I'm gonna there's gonna be a nerve-wracking day. DJ and Brian says that 77% are saying no cut. Now, here's my thinking. Right now, 77% are predicting that Jerome Powell continues to do what he's been doing. Jerome Powell has to realize at some point that he's been behind the 8 ball the entire time and that he's been reacting to the markets instead of leading the markets. And what we need is leadership. And what he's not showing, same leadership. He's not leading the markets. He's responding to whatever's happening, and that's too late. He's not getting ahead of it in any way. Donald Trump is saying to him, you've got to get ahead of this market. Like, what is wrong with you? He's frustrated by what he feels is Jerome Powell still continuing to do everything that caused us to be in the shape that we're in right now. And look, you might like the economy. It might be working for you, but it's not working for everybody. Jerome Powell has screwed up, and he needs to do some self-reflection on this, and he needs to figure out, how do I get ahead of the game? They've already cut 25 basis points. When they start quantitative easing, then it's going to go bonkers. Now, how do I know that it's going to go bonkers? Well, let's get a clean chart right here. Let's do total 2 because we kept that one pretty clean. And let's do the magic right here. And that's the global liquidity up here. Look at this shit right here. Now, if you just consider where we are, and if you just kind of tie the top of the market to each one of these little spots, then we're at the bottom right now of this move, and we're at the first impulse. We're about to go on this journey right here. So that doesn't mean that you won't have peaks and valleys in the market, but it does mean that ultimately this is a major upward momentum. Now, the question is are we going to get in front of that? Okay. Are we going to get in front of that? And are we going to turbocharge it? And that's really what it comes down to. So I think Jerome Powell is going to be motivated to do something. So anyway, we're going to set our buy at 1690. We're going to leave that in there for Ethereum, and we're going to, fingers crossed, hope for the best. On Solana, I didn't take a position on Solana. You guys saw that yesterday. I felt like it was too wonky for me. That I'm still not convinced that Solana is ready for that explosive move. Look at all that trade volume in that range. But when it does move, it's going to move to $200. So, the question is, do you have a position here? Now, here's the other part. I have spot position. I swapped Solana. By the way, I sold a bunch of my SWP tokens and moved it over into Solana because I feel like that's going to be the best. That's going to be the best move for profit from me. DJ and Brian says it's now up to 95%. It's going to be 100% a rate cut or Donald Trump will sack him. And that's really what it comes down to. And here's the thing. Jerome Powell's probably sitting on the sidelines saying, well, he can't fire me. Like, you really can't fire me. It doesn't mean Donald Trump's not going to try. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to set some kind of precedent. And, Jerome Powell's going to be there for another year. Only a moron would have appointed Jerome Powell. And guess who appointed Jerome Powell? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you look it up because you're going to get mad at me if I say it. Anyway, got to be a complete moron set Jerome Powell in charge. You know what I mean? Anyway, he's getting fired. So I don't know if he will or not. We'll see. And by the way, SWE is cooking right now some more. It's now a top 5, I want to say. Like, somebody just pointed out that it moved up into the top 5 today, outside of stable coins and meme coins or something like that. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, Solana, Cardano. It's not. No, it's not. But 10 billion market cap. 10 billion market cap for SWE, having a nice little run right now. So anyway, an expert now explains that basically Solana is still in the beta stage. After critics took like-hearted jabs at Solana over the network's lengthy stay in beta stage, an expert has weighed in to clarify. According to Helios Labs CEO Mert Mumtaz, Solana's decision to stick with the beta tag is mundane and should be ignored. He says it's not a big deal. So I think people are starting to realize that as well. And, let's see what happens with Solana. Now, again, we got this move up here. And I said, basically, from here down to here might be that sort of, range. We came down just below this and started to move back up. I think we're going to continue on to 162. I'm not willing to enter a position again on Solana on futures, but I've got a spot bag again, and we'll see how that one goes. But I would be looking for Solana to do this test right here and zoom out here just a little bit. The next move is going to be into this 195 sort of range right up here. So I think that Solana is on the verge of a big breakout. I think, by the way, the Trump token did a great job of providing some attention to Solana one more time. So, maybe we'll see something crazy happen for the next little while. But I'm not entering a position on it. If you want to enter a position, here's what I would tell you. Set a buy at 141, 142, somewhere in that range right there. See if you can get in on that. That's about halfway through these two zones that we have set up here, with that take profit zone being at 162 and the point of control, which is at 126 right now. On this short-term range. This is from August of last year. Right now we're sitting, look at this, that actually plays out perfectly. As you pull this out just a little bit more, you start to see that zone right there where we're setting the buy order, that becomes very, very important. So yeah, I would set a buy at 142 just to see if it gets triggered if you want to. Otherwise, I would stay, again, buy a spot bag on Solana, but I would not enter, at this point, I would not enter into a long position. Just because I don't think I think we missed it. And I think that, one of the things about Solana is like it banana zones, you know what I mean? Like it fucking banana zones, and it does it very, very quickly. So, we could be just looking at an absolute rip. So if you got something paired with it, go for it. If it's not, then I would not. So next up, what is our XRP setup? Well, we got 215 or 218. We're in. We're up 2% right now. It did execute, so we're up 2% right now, and we'll see how this one plays out. However, the question is, let's zoom out here and let's look at this range right here. We just want to look at this range and establish where the next impulse move is going to go. And you can see the point of control, the spot right there, is going to be at $2.40. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to step over here and I'm going to see, like, what is this if we did this at $2.40? What is that? That's a 50% profit. We'll take a 50% profit on that. So we're going to confirm, oops, $2.40. That's going to be $11 profit. We're going to get 50% profit on XRP. We're just automatically going to set it up that way for an impulse move to happen on XRP. That's what we're looking for. So if we get a move, then there we go. Speaking of move, we're up $23. The funding rate, I think, might have flipped positive for the day. No, it's still negative. It's actually getting a little more negative as we go. So let's remove that, by the way, on the trigger. And all right, so we've got a trigger set up here at 470 if move goes up to 470. So $470. Why am I doing 470? What is the, why did I set this? And what's the price target here? $1.25. All right, so $1.25 is where we got it set up. And I'll take that. We'll leave that right there for $1.25. So hopefully we won't lose that last bit of position right there. Our liquidation price, and this is isolated, by the way, but our liquidation price is 16 cents. So I'm going to be watching for a reversal on that. I like the fact that we've got this sort of reversal that seems to be happening, but let's look at it right now. You kind of zoom in, and it kind of feels like it's telling a different story. Like you want to, am I convincing myself that the bottom is in, or is this, are we just about to dump? You know what I mean? So, because it happened over here and then end up dumping more. So we might not be done. It might be catastrophic on move. I don't know for sure, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, Ripple coin now outpaces Bitcoin and Ethereum in this metric, and this is it. Per CoinShares data, XRP stood strong despite the broader market volatility. It's noteworthy that Ripple coin recorded weekly inflows worth 3.5 million the previous week as well. However, Bitcoin and Ethereum yet again reported net outflows of 751 and 3.7 or 37.6 million. So why is XRP? Well, XRP, why is it doing this? Because fundamentally speaking, if the Trump administration, who is into XRP, if the Trump administration wants it to happen, then XRP becomes a replacement for the SWIFT system. Now, will that happen just like that? I don't think so. I don't think there's any chance of that. However, it's really interesting to note that the Trump narrative tends to help move stuff along. We're going to get the closing of the lawsuit. Everything will be done. Remember, they have until June, so we have 6 weeks left. There's a lot of things happening between May and June for all crypto. So if you can get in, if you can get a position on XRP, then what's not to like? You know what I mean? Like, what's not to like here? So we're in at 218. If it dips a little bit more, then 215 becomes the next buy zone right there at the 618, and then 211 down here. You can see that wick. It wicked all the way down to that 211. We could have gotten in, by the way. My bad. Because it looks like we could have gotten all the way down into, we could have gotten all the way down into that 211, 212. So it came to 212, didn't exactly hit the bottom, but I mean, that's actually, you know what? It probably did. Let me move that around, and then let me make sure that this one is set to the exact spot that it was supposed to be, which is right there. So you can see that it wicked down right into the 786, and now it seems to be on its way. Over the last couple of hours, it went from 211 all the way up to 221. So what do I always tell you? Up here, down here, back up to the 236, which means it's going to go to 224, 225, maybe push back down from there back to our entry price, and then a breakout after that. So we're going to take profit at 240 on it, but you know, you might want to set another buy just in case down here at about 205, maybe $2 on XRP. And if the markets allow it, if we're allowed to visit there, then it's going to be a nice little win for you, because I think that'll cause a tremendous reversal. So XRP, we're done with that one. Let's move on to OM. Don't know what to tell you about OM other than this. This is a pretty good outline of what's going on, and I'll break it down for you here. Mantra chain is being set for the next leg up when this accumulation completes. Classic pre-breakout structure forming. Are you buying this dip? Now, here's what it looks like, okay? You've got the Wyckoff accumulation, breakout, and markup. You've had the move down, you have the accumulation, then you have the breakout. So we've down, you accumulate, there we go. One more down move here to 50 cents, maybe, and then you have a breakout above, then you have a throwback test right here, and then you have the reaccumulation back in another zone here, and then you have the breakout above that. So that's what they're saying, that this is textbook the way that it looks right now. So hopefully we're going to see the Wyckoff accumulation, breakout, and markup. So that'll be, and by the way, where is my target for OM right now? I think I gave it to you the other day. Like I when I look at it from this context, like I you don't obviously like what you see when you see this, but as you start to zoom out, where is the next move here? $1.25, $1.23, like right here at the bottom of this range right here. There's going to be some resistance here at 75 cents. Again, you can see, why is it continuing to go down? If everything was fine, right? If everything was fine, then these big buyers that stepped in and bought all these gigantic supply, or whatever it was that they did, they're now sellers at this 74-cent sort of $1 level. Yeah, he's there for another 60 days. He's in jail for another 60 days. He might get shock probation or time served or something like that. But he threatened a judge. That's not gonna, that's not gonna go well. Anyway, so every time we get up into the 75-cent range, you're gonna have a little bit of sell-off. So it's gonna be interesting to see if it doesn't bounce. And when it does bounce, we'll get a move up here. But we got $1 already. We got like $1 test. Next test is gonna be $1.25. Then if it gets accepted into that range, and by the way, this would be where the Wyckoff, this is where it comes into play, by the way. So you get the move here in the shorter time frame, you got the move into this, then you're going to have the boom, 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 breakout, boom. Now you got an accumulation right here, and then boom. And then that's where it goes to $4. So it could happen quickly, could happen slowly. I don't know. But I do think that OM is primed for a big move. And to go along with that, this is what I have on that, because again, most important thing is to be an open book with you guys and let you know exactly what we're doing. So we have 951 OM right now, okay, that we're sitting on. We're down $175. Here's where we are. We're down 26% on it. We're down $175. We bought at an average price of 70.53 cents. Now, I could accumulate more right now, because ultimately, I think that this thing is going to absolutely rip and explode. However, this is good enough for me. This is going to be good enough for me. Basically, I have about 1,000 OM. If OM goes back up to $6, it's going to be $6,000 off of $495 that I currently have in there right now. Well, $600 is what I have in there, 650, something like that. So if, by the way, if I get some trade volume over here on KCEX, which I haven't had any trade volume in a couple of days, other than like minor amounts. I'll show you that one on another day. But if we start to move, boom, you know what I mean? Like I think that's going to be a really good play right there. So next up is Devve, trading at 65.95 right now. Cannot sustain a pump right now. It's not having a good time of it ultimately. But be bullish, because unlock a new era of public service with Devve. Governments can deploy customizable blockchain-powered voting for fair elections, tamper-proof notary services for legal documents, improved data storage and access systems, and secure digital IDs for seamless KYCs. What other services do you envision becoming better, cheaper, faster with our institutional and grade L1 DevX? Well, listen, if the government decides to use DevX for any reason, boom, here's my driver's license. You know what I mean? Like you can just, your driver's, everything that you need could be on your mobile device, and it would be with the blockchain. And all you have to do is have it in your wallet in order to access it. And then all we have to do is make sure that we are secure enough that people aren't stealing our stuff. So that, by the way, that does not make me super bullish on Devve, because that opportunity exists. Okay. That doesn't, when that actually happens, then I would get even more bullish on it. I'm bullish because in that video from the other day, Paris Blockchain Week, you heard from the man himself, Ray Quintana, that they have partnered with a major stock exchange. And this is with Paul Bureau from Bank de Lubac and Ray Quintana, CEO of Devve. And they say that they have partnered with a major stock exchange. That is Nasdaq or that is Dow Jones, guys. That's, I mean, there's no two ways. I mean, those are the major stock exchanges. So Let's see what happens. But I think that we are talking about game-changing levels of pump getting ready to come to Devve. Just a matter now of time. If you are on the fence and you're waiting for an opportunity to accumulate a little bit more Devve, I am still going to sit here today and I'm still going to tell you that I think it's going to collapse down to 50 cents. I don't see any reason to think that unless there's a big announcement, there is no chance here of any kind of, and when I look, let's zoom out here and let's get an idea of what the total volume looks like and where is our, let's call it the point of control, I guess, for lack of better. And that's right here at $1.27. We're not there. Where we are is right there. You can see that that's where the volume right there. There's enough volume in that range right there that I would say that, you know, we get attracted to 47 cents, 48 cents, sort of right there. Maybe even down to 45 into that range. So 50 cents is going to be a perfect accumulation point in the event that you have a few bucks on the side and you would like a little bit more Devve. Or if you would like some Devve, go set a buy order right now at 50 cents. And you might be asking yourself, well, Bleeves, how would I do that? Well, Uniswap, baby. You go to Uniswap because that's where you buy. That's where you're going to buy Devve right now. And we're going to get started right here. And we're going to set a limit order. We're going to set a limit order to buy Devve right here. And we're going to say when Devve is worth 50 cents, we're going to buy $1,000 worth. All you have to do is go to Uniswap, get your limit order set up, make sure you change it to USDC so that you know, make sure you have the USDC in your wallet to make that buy, and then boom, that order will get triggered and you will have a buy set at your price. If you want to sell, for example, if you say, well, you know, I think it's going to 80 cents, you could actually set yourself up and say, well, I'm going to take my, I'm going to sell my Devve, right? And how much do I want to sell at? I'm going to do 75 cents. When we go to 75 cents right here, we're going to remove that. When we're going to sell, you know, 10,000 Devve at 75 cents, right? That's going to be $7,500 be converted to USDC. So, and you could actually just set it up right here to sell at the same, when the Devve pairing ratio is 30373, you could do that. I would prefer USD because look, you're trading under $1 right now on Ethereum. So if you have to swap from Devve to Ethereum to USDC, $2 for a trade. I mean, fucking break. You know what I mean? You got that kind of money. Anyway, so then you could set it right there at, you know, whatever you decide, 95 cents. You know what I mean? So you can set yourself buy orders and limit orders for whatever it is that you want to do based on the prices on Uniswap. So if you get a pump out of it, then it'll, takes your opinion out, takes your risk out of the game. Okay. All you do is buy low, sell high. Duh. So anyway, Devve coming down to 50 cents, I think. And then we're going to see that explosive move. We're going to get another test right here in this range of $1.30, $1.40. And I think that's going to be coming very, very soon. But again, when the announcement is made, when that announcement does get made, it is my estimation that we will immediately shoot to $10. $10 makes the most sense right now because it actually factors in, when you look at it, to like $1 billion market cap. So it's that kind of checks. And it's actually like $12 to get to $1 billion market cap, but I'm going to say 10 because it's a nice round number. So that's that. Luna Classic down a little bit today, but ultimately still on the run here. So if you're looking for Luna Classic, look for this move into a volume area, which that volume area is around 70. There we go, right there, about 409. So I would look for that kind of move to be happening in short order as we continue up this trend. And it is an upward trend. So, you know, now SWI, I've been looking through SWI trying to figure out exactly what's going on. It's just not going on. Remember yesterday we talked about this and I said, well, it looks like this right here. It looks like we're actually getting the Elliott wave playing out. Well, guess what? It's fucking playing out like right in front of us right here. So, you know, what's the next move? Somewhere up here in the $7 range. You know what I mean? I'm already, there's not enough dip in this for me right now. There's just not enough dip in this for me right now to grab a position on it. I'm not comfortable with it. But if you want to, I mean, it looks like it's breaking out. Here's what I would say. Whatever you enter right now, whatever, go find out what that announcement is for next week for SWE, what day. Go look at one of the, go look at whatever they've got going on, whatever big thing they've got going on, and sell a day before that or 2 days before that, because nothing that they do is going to explode. Like it's not going to explode that chart like that. So if you get from here at $3, if you get up to $5 in a couple days and the announcements get ready to come, sell. Because if you don't sell into it, you're going to end up getting wrecked. And by the way, when you look at it from that context, let's, down to the top over here, it looks like it has steep corrections back into the 618 to 786 zones. So look for the same thing to happen. So in the event that you get a breakout, and I'm right here, and let's just say let's say I've nailed it right here, and it's $8. Let's just say $8. So from here to here, it's coming back down to where it is right now. You know what I mean? Like it's coming back down into that 318 range, or at least that $4 range. So in the event that you get a breakout, then I would be looking to sell it into that and then try to accumulate a little bit more. That would be my impression of what should happen. So now let's get into meme coins. As far as meme coins go, Trump is still up 29% on the day. That's about to, there should be a little bit of fighting when the announcement is made that, the top 220 holders, once they've done that, short the shit out of Trump. Okay. Because it's not the play for it to move like that. It's not the play. We're not in the banana zone yet. We'll get there, but we're not in the banana zone right now. So in the event that you see Trump make an announcement of the top 220s, then Joke that take your ass over here and short the ever-loving shit out of Trump all the way back down to probably $8. You know what I mean? Like, you got that spike up there to about $16. Most people who shorted it from there already just reaping profit. But wait for that final surge. Let them say 24 hours or 48 hours left or something like that. There'll be another surge as people try to get into that top 220 because they want to go have dinner with President Sock Sniffer or whatever it is. Trump, not Trump, right? Yeah. By the way, did anybody see that Trump is no longer talking to Elon, and that Elon is now wanting to get out of politics because he doesn't like the fact that people are rude? God. Oh, just awesome. Anyway, so short the shit out of this. Again, I say that knowing, and you guys know, that's going to be the first $100 billion meme coin. I'm telling you right now, Trump will be the first $100 billion meme coin, unless he passes away, unless something happens and he passes away. In office, that might change dramatically what happens, but I really think that this is going to be the first one to 100 billion. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't short it from, like we get back up here into this range right here, $15, $16. Boom, it's going to come way down. So look for that move. As far as the rest of it goes, LFGO is up 10%. Shiba Inu, everything else is either basically dead even or down. Fiat, Volt, CC, API 3 are basically dead even. Pepe down 2%, all the way down to Devve. Devve doesn't have an amount here that it's down for the day, which is fucking weird. In the 24-hour, it doesn't have any thing that's down. So I guess basically it's not down at all. It's just trading sideways for the day, just at 0%, I guess, perfectly. Saitama Wolfpack is down big at 13%. Again, just to tell you guys, I sold 2 big bags yesterday. This one right here and this one right here. That's me. So, yeah. And then there's some buyback that's happened in the meantime. Ultimately, I'm still bullish on SWP. Ultimately, I still think that SWP is going to have a tremendous run, but I'm going to pay bills. So, anyway, Butthole Coin down 15%. Pretty wild how Butthole Coin runs. So, CC rewards down a little bit. No one will know, down 44.83. So let's talk about CC and then let's get out of here. All right. So first project is going to be Blockchain Beauties. Let's have a little contest, $100 giveaway included. Below are all the girls who have won the pin so far. Like and repost. And there are people out here who are winning every single day and becoming involved with this project. So if you are excited about Blockchain Beauties, then you're not going to be the only one. Now, I think that having these women involved is probably going to be for the best for the project. Short term, long term, it might get a little bit more difficult. But here's the thing: the interesting thing is that these people seem to be very, very creative about what they're doing. Like, just consider, if you will, that CC is just not sitting there with a meme coin. Not sitting there with a meme coin. She's out here doing this. She's out here launching her own ecosystem, if you will. There's no CCC blockchain, but she's pairing CC coins with BCB to create more value for CCC and CCR. And then Blockchain Beauties comes along, creates, it's an opportunity. And there's going to be more opportunity as this market continues to kick up. Then we're going to see something crazy happen. So make sure that you get yourself a bag of that. And then finally, Trobits. Trobits is now back online. Hasn't been online for a couple days as they were updating their report. Like, here's your lunk details and stuff like that. And then here is your burns. And you can see all of the burns and all of the scan stuff like that. So Trobits is where you go. It's free. It's free. It's fucking free. All you have to do is go over there and engage with it. There are ads that it runs on. The ads are what pays for this. So every day they burn SHIB. Every day they burn lunk. So if you want to be part of it, go over here, read some news articles, get your daily briefing over here. Learn a little something, baby, and then go to trobits.com today. And that's it. That's the show, guys. There's your setups. Look, nothing really changed fundamentally from yesterday. I think the market is still ready for an absolute soar. Roy G says, Daddy is supposedly rebranding soon. It might be worth a shot. No, it's not. Rodney's not. Look, if Rodney didn't do anything with it when he had an opportunity, he's not doing anything with it now. It is my opinion that, that sometimes you win a little bit. Sometimes you win a little bit. So what do? You just kind of throw money at it just to see if you can trick some people in, or you can trap some people in. No, like it's fucking roasted. I mean, look at that. It's fucking done. My $35, which is down to $1, went up to $2. So let's be clear that, this is not a gigantic breakout by any means. You know what I mean? Like it was $1.10. Now it's like $2.20. So we're still down tremendously. And if it takes on a life of its own and it does something, then that'll be kind of cool. But I mean, look over here. There's no volume. It's not like we just have this crazy amount of volume that suddenly started surging in and stuff like that. This is just some people who tried to trap some people in here so that they can create some exit liquidity. You find something on the bottom, you start to buy in, you make it look real good, and then the next thing you know, it starts to take off. So, whatever. Anyway, that's the show. It's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, sign up at Weeks. Start trading today. Sign up at KCX. Start trading today. We do that. Then we don't have to take partnerships. We don't have to take sponsorships from anybody else. And Weeks is literally giving you money just by doing all this trading. And 1.9 million. Don't you want to be part of that? Don't you want to be part of that? Don't you want to look, $2 million a day? You want to beat that? You should beat that. You should beat that. You guys should get together and figure out a way to trade on Weeks over $2 million a day every single day. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right. You guys have a good day.